It's been kind of a wild morning. Not too wild, but just stuff going on. Nothing to do with me, thankfully. Let's see here. Aggression and violence dominate our newspapers, entertainment, and politics. The possibility of burning ourselves into blackened history through nuclear warfare, though receding since the retreat of the Cold War, still looms as a potential threat. Yet the fire of our time is also igniting new technologies, new channels of consciousness, heating up the chaotic motion of disjointed individuals in the planetary soup, moving them faster and faster as they converge upon each other toward a massive transformation to the next level. The development of individualism, will, technology, and empowerment are essential steps in creating the global consciousness. Individualism has brought us diversity, the possibility for greater novelty, and a sense of separateness that awakens individual will, necessary to become active co-creators of evolution rather than passive recipients. Where earth and water flow downward, passively following gravity, fire transforms the movement upward, enabling us to reach the upper chakras, collectively reaching toward an expanded global consciousness. It was perhaps the control of fire that initially stirred human consciousness into awakening, some 500,000 years ago. It is now the fires of our current technologies that are capable of awakening or disseminating global consciousness. These are the uncertainties we face in this millennial transformation. But before we come fully into the present age, there is one more era that we must examine. Humanity's first attempt to get to the heart, the Christian era. Chakra 4, love and balance. Chakra 4 in the original tantric diagrams is depicted as the intersection of two triangles, the downward pointing triangle of spirit descending into matter and the upward dissolution of matter into spirit. At the level of the heart chakra, these polarities are perfectly balanced, and indeed, balance is one of these central attributes to the heart chakra. Though we are still struggling through the power and domination issues of the third chakra, I believe the rise of Christianity was initially an attempt to get to the fourth chakra. Its philosophical emphasis, even if it often failed to practice, was upon love, unity, forgiveness, and surrender of personal will to a higher power, a Father God who still carried some of the attributes of the angry patriarchal thunder gods, but was also carried a softer, more loving side. The birth of Christ, said to be the Son of God, was symbolized the blending of the divine and the mortal characteristics of the halfway point that the fourth chakra represents. The unfortunate thing about Christianity is that it was unable to truly reflect a religion of balance, emerging as it did at a time of intense patriarchy, where the presiding paradigm was still founded upon the denial of the lower chakras, and with it, denial of the sacred values placed upon the feminine, on wildness, the earth, sexuality, and personal responsibility. Still, Christianity stabilized the predominant dynamic masculine, whose initial rejection of the old ways had produced a kind of social chaos of many divergent factions warring and competing with each other. This stabilization turned the dynamic masculine into the static masculine, whose symbol is the cross and whose emphasis is on the stability through law and order. Thus, the initial rejection of our basic nature is now regulated. It is no longer a reaction, but the permanent overvaluing of one part at the cost of another. Light is good, dark is evil. Male is powerful, female is weak. Earth is transient and expendable. Heaven is eternal and perfect. While this may produce the illusion of stability, it comes at the cost of intense repression, which is bound to surface wherever there is weakness in a system. Thus, the practice of love, balance, and forgiveness displayed miserable failures in the Crusades, the Inquisition, the witch burnings, and even today, in the vicious demonization of cultural differences that occur in some of the more extreme forms of Christianity. The repression of sexuality has created its shadow side of rape and incest. The repression of the sacred of earth has created shadow materialism, resulting in rampant ecological destruction. Nonetheless, the Christian era, with its relative stability, allowed yet another proliferation of culture in terms of technology and growth of consciousness. During this time, we produced the printing press, the telephone, radio, television, and computer, all opening up communication possibilities that are a prerequisite for any kind of global unity to emerge. In fact, the Industrial Revolution, which took the dominant male out of the home and carted him off to work each day, allowed the first resurgence of feminism, where women were out from under the man's thumb long enough to compare notes and begin realizing who they were. This took a few generations, but eventually produced the consciousness-raising groups of housewives in the 60s and the opportunities for education and work that are necessary for any equality of the sexes to take place. To truly come to balance in the heart requires an equal mixing of raw libido energy coming up from the lower chakras and conscious awareness coming down from the upper chakras. In other words, wholeness requires higher consciousness, vision, and communication, balanced and integrated with personal will, emotional, and primal instincts. I believe that a true awakening in the heart could not occur during the Christian era because we had not yet achieved proficiency in the upper chakras. This, in combination with the denial of the lower chakras, created a system very out of balance. In this light, let's now look at the achievements of the upper chakra development that makes it finally possible to weave in balance and wholeness a true culture of the heart. So I'll read that tomorrow. We'll read chakra 5 and 6 and 7, the upper chakras. Interesting stuff. Everyone have a wonderful day.